Admiral Lee Jin-ho stood on the bridge of the battleship Harmony, watching Earth grow larger on the main screen. His fleet had just returned from a successful mission to establish mining operations on Kepler 442b when the emergency signals reached them. Every communication channel buzzed with panic and confusion from Earth Command. The first report seemed impossible. Massive alien ships had appeared above every major city on Earth without any warning. No radar had detected them, and no sensors had picked up their approach. They simply materialized in Earth's atmosphere like ghosts becoming solid. Lee Jin-ho ordered his helmsman to increase speed. His 20-ship fleet was still 6 hours away from Earth, but every minute felt like an eternity. The radio chatter from the planet below painted a picture of chaos and fear. Dr. Park Min-ji rushed onto the bridge carrying a tablet filled with preliminary data. She had been Earth's leading expert on theoretical alien contact for 15 years, but never expected to use her knowledge in real life. Her face was pale and her hands shook slightly as she approached the Admiral. "Sir, the ships are enormous," she said breathlessly. "Each one is at least 10 kilometers long. They're positioned exactly 1,000 meters above Seoul, Tokyo, New York, London, Moscow, and 12 other major cities. They're not moving and they're not responding to any of our communication attempts." Lee Jin-ho studied the images on her tablet. The alien vessels were unlike anything humans had ever imagined. They were sleek and organic-looking with surfaces that seemed to shift and flow like liquid metal. Strange lights pulsed along their hulls in patterns that hurt to look at directly. "Any signs of hostile intent?" the Admiral asked. "Not yet, but they've completely jammed all satellite communications in their vicinity. Nothing gets in or out of those zones. It's like they've created dead spots in our communication grid." Captain Kim Do-yeon's voice crackled over the intercom. From the fighter bay, "Admiral, my squadrons are ready for immediate deployment. Just give us the word and we'll show these aliens what human pilots can do." "Hold position, Captain," Lee Jin-ho replied. "We don't know what we're dealing with yet." The Admiral turned back to Dr. Park. "What's your professional assessment, Doctor?" "This isn't random, sir. The precision of their arrival and positioning suggests they've been studying us for some time. They know exactly where our population centers are, and they've chosen to make a statement by appearing above them. This is either a show of power or preparation for something bigger." Minister Han Yura's voice suddenly filled the bridge through the emergency communication channel. She was speaking from the underground command bunker beneath Seoul, and her usually calm demeanor showed cracks of stress. "All military commanders, this is Minister Han. We've received a transmission from the alien vessels. They're demanding an immediate audience with Earth's leadership." The message was sent simultaneously in perfect Korean, English, Chinese, Russian, and 8 other languages. They know us better than we know them. Lee Jin-ho felt a chill run down his spine. "Minister, what exactly did they say?" "They identify themselves as representatives of something called the Galactic Council. They claim authority over this entire region of space, and they're here to discuss Earth's integration into their system." The word they used was integration, not cooperation or alliance. Dr. Park grabbed the Admiral's arm. "Sir, that doesn't sound like first contact. It sounds like annexation." The main screen flickered and suddenly showed a live feed from Seoul. The massive alien ship hovered motionless above the city, casting a shadow that covered 20 city blocks. Citizens had fled the streets and emergency vehicles raced through empty avenues. The sight was both magnificent and terrifying. "Admiral, this is General Cho Tae-won from Earth Defense Command. All military units are to maintain defensive positions, but do not, I repeat, do not take any aggressive action until we understand the situation better. We're dealing with technology far beyond our current capabilities." Lee Jin-ho acknowledged the order, but privately wondered if defensive positions would mean anything against beings who could appear in Earth's atmosphere without detection. He looked around his bridge at the faces of his crew. These were experienced space veterans who had fought pirates and hostile wildlife on distant worlds, but this was different. This was humanity's first contact with an advanced alien civilization, and it wasn't going the way anyone had hoped. "Dr. Park, I want you to prepare a complete analysis of everything we know about these ships. Power signatures, hull composition, anything that might give us an advantage if this goes badly." "Already on it, sir, but the data is limited. They're using Some kind of energy shielding that blocks most of our sensors. What little we can detect suggests their technology is centuries ahead of ours. Engineer Yoon Hyok's voice came through the ship's internal communication system. Admiral, I've been monitoring their energy outputs. These ships are generating more power than our entire planetary grid. If they wanted to attack us, they could turn every major city into glass in minutes. The sobering reality of their situation settled over the bridge crew. Humanity had spent the last 50 years expanding into space-building colonies and developing military technology to protect their interests. They had imagined themselves as a growing power ready to take their place among the stars. Instead, they had discovered they were children playing with toys while adults watched from the shadows. Ambassador Songnari's voice joined the communication network. All units be advised, we've agreed to formal talks with the alien delegation. They're sending a representative to meet with our leadership in exactly 24 hours. Location is classified for security reasons. Ambassador Lee Jinho interjected, What guarantees do we have for the safety of our negotiators? None, Admiral. But refusing to meet would likely result in immediate hostile action. These aliens haven't asked for permission to enter our space. They've simply announced their presence and stated their terms. We're not negotiating from a position of strength here. Captain Kim Do-hyun's fighter squadron had moved into escort formation around the Admiral's battleship. Through the bridge, Windows Lee Jinho could see the sleek fighters taking defensive positions. The sight gave him some comfort, even though he knew their weapons would probably be useless against alien technology. Dr. Park, what do we know about their capabilities beyond the ships themselves? Very little, sir. They've demonstrated they can travel faster than light, and they possess cloaking technology that makes our stealth systems look primitive. They've also shown they can interfere with our communications at will. Beyond that, we're operating blind. The main communication array crackled to life with a new message. This time, the voice was clearly not human. It spoke in perfect English, but with an odd rhythm and pronunciation that made every word sound calculated and precise. People of Earth, you have 24 hours to prepare for formal contact with the Galactic Council. Your leaders will meet with Prime Arbiter Kelthara to discuss the terms of your integration into Council authority. This is not a negotiation. This is an announcement of your new reality. Prepare accordingly. The transmission ended, leaving the bridge in stunned silence. Lee Jinho felt the weight of command pressing down on his shoulders. In his 30 years of military service, he had faced pirates, smugglers, and corporate militias, but never anything like this. The aliens had made their intentions clear without saying the words directly. Earth was being conquered, and humanity had no choice but to submit. All stations maintain current course and speed, the Admiral ordered. We'll reach Earth in 5 hours. Dr. Park, I want every piece of data we can gather about these aliens before we arrive. Captain Kim, keep your fighters ready, but remember, we're not at war yet. Yet, Dr. Park repeated quietly. I have a feeling that's going to change very soon. The battleship Harmony continued its journey toward Earth, carrying 20 ships and 5,000 crew members who might be humanity's last hope if diplomacy failed. Behind them, the stars looked the same as they always had, but ahead of them, Earth waited under the shadow of alien ships and the uncertain future they represented. Ambassador Songnari walked through the underground corridors of the Seoul Command Center, feeling the weight of humanity's future on her shoulders. In 6 hours, she would sit across from an alien being and hear terms that would either save or doom her species. The fluorescent lights flickered overhead, casting harsh shadows on the concrete walls. Prime Arbiter Kelthara had arrived on Earth exactly as promised. The alien delegation consisted of 12 beings representing different species from the Galactic Council. Their shuttle had landed in the secure area of Seoul International Airport, and every news camera on Earth had captured the historic moment. Song Nari had watched the footage with growing unease. The aliens moved with perfect coordination, as if they shared a single mind. Kelthara itself stood nearly 3 meters tall, with translucent skin that revealed flowing patterns beneath the surface. Its companions were equally strange, each representing a different branch of evolved life. Ambassador, the delegation is ready to begin, announced Colonel Park Seon-ho from the security detail. He had positioned armed guards throughout the facility, though everyone knew the weapons would be useless if the aliens chose violence. The meeting room had been carefully prepared with recording equipment and translation systems, though the aliens had made it clear they spoke perfect human languages. Songnari took her seat at the negotiating table alongside Minister Han Yura and General Cho Taiwan. Dr. Park Minji sat nearby with her analysis equipment, ready to study every detail of the encounter. Kelthara entered the room followed by 3 companion beings. The Prime Arbiter's presence filled the space with an alien energy that made the humans feel small and primitive. When it spoke, its voice carried harmonics that seemed to resonate in their bones. Leaders of Earth, we come before you as representatives of the Galactic Council, which has governed known space for over 4,000 years. Your species has achieved interstellar travel and established colonies beyond your home system. This brings you under Council jurisdiction. Minister Han Yura leaned forward. Prime Arbiter, we appreciate your contact and look forward to establishing diplomatic relations between our peoples. Earth is interested in peaceful cooperation with all species. The aliens' features shifted in what might have been amusement. Minister Han, you misunderstand the nature of this meeting. We are not here to establish relations. We are here to inform you of your new status within Council authority. Songnari felt her heart sink but kept her expression neutral. Could you clarify what you mean by Council authority, Prime Arbiter? Certainly. The Council maintains order throughout this galactic region by providing guidance and oversight to developing species. Earth will surrender all military vessels and weapons to Council forces. Your expansion into space will cease immediately. Your technology development will be supervised by Council specialists. Your population will be educated in proper civilized behavior. The terms hit the human delegation like physical blows. General Cho struggled to maintain his composure as he spoke. Prime Arbiter, those conditions would effectively end human independence. No sovereign species could accept such terms. Sovereignty is an illusion, General Cho. The Council has successfully integrated 47 species over the millennia. Each one initially resisted just as you are doing now. Each one eventually came to appreciate the benefits of guided development. Dr. Park's tablet beeped softly as it completed analysis of the alien biosignatures. The data showed energy patterns, unlike anything in human science. These beings operated on principles that humanity had never discovered. Songnari decided to probe deeper. Prime Arbiter, what happens if Earth declines integration into the Council system? Decline is not an option. Ambassador Song, your species has reached the threshold where it becomes either a valued member of galactic civilization or a threat that must be contained. We prefer the first outcome, but we are prepared for the second. The threat hung in the air like poison gas. Minister, Han tried another approach. Surely there must be room for negotiation. Earth has much to offer as an equal partner. Equality is earned through centuries of proper development under Council guidance, Kelthara replied. Your species displays concerning aggressive tendencies and dangerous independence. Left unchecked, these traits could destabilize entire sectors. Engineer, Yoon Hyuk's voice crackled through Songnari's earpiece. He was monitoring from the technical center and his words chilled her blood. Ambassador, I'm detecting massive energy buildups in the ships above our cities. They're powering weapons systems. Colonel Park moved subtly closer to the exits, but everyone in the room knew escape was impossible if the aliens chose violence. The underground facility would provide no protection against technology that could appear anywhere without warning. Prime Arbiter. Songnari said carefully, Earth needs time to consider such significant changes to our society. Surely the Council can allow us a reasonable period for discussion. Time is a luxury species lose when they achieve interstellar capability. However, the Council is not unreasonable. You have 72 hours to announce your acceptance of integration. During this time, our fleets will position themselves at your colonies to ensure compliance. General Cho's face went pale. Your fleets are already at our colonies. Of course, General. The Council does not make threats it cannot enforce immediately. New Geneva Proxima Station and Kepler Colony are currently under Council observation. Any attempt at military resistance will result in immediate protective intervention. Dr. Park's equipment detected emotional stress indicators in the alien delegation, but their meanings were unclear. Were the aliens concerned about human reactions or simply monitoring for deception? Either way, humanity was clearly being evaluated like specimens in a laboratory. Intelligence Officer Choi Ji-won entered the room and whispered urgently in Song Nari's ear. Surveillance satellites had detected additional Council fleets arriving at the edge of the solar system. Earth was completely surrounded by alien forces. Prime Arbiter, Minister Han said with forced calm. What assurances can you give us about the treatment of human populations under Council authority? All integrated species receive protection, education, and purpose within the Council structure. Your people will be relocated to appropriate worlds where they can contribute to galactic civilization. Earth itself will be designated a Council administration center. The casual mention of relocating humanity's entire population struck the negotiators like lightning. Song Nari realized the aliens weren't just talking about political control. They intended to empty Earth of its native inhabitants. Relocated, she repeated carefully. Earth's position makes it strategically valuable as a Council base. The human population will be distributed among several worlds better suited to your biological needs. This process has been refined through decades of successful integrations. Captain Kim Do-yeon's emergency signal flashed on Song Nari's communication device. His fighter squadrons were detecting movement from the alien vessels above major cities. Whatever was happening, the aliens were preparing for action. Song Nari stood slowly from her chair. Prime Arbiter, I believe we need to discuss these terms with our full leadership before providing any response. Of course, Ambassador. You have 72 hours from this moment. At the end of that period, Earth will announce its acceptance of Council authority or face the consequences of continued resistance. The choice belongs to your species. Kelthera and its companions left the room as silently as they had arrived. The human delegation sat in stunned silence, processing the magnitude of what they had just heard. Earth wasn't being offered membership in a galactic community. It was being absorbed into an alien empire. Minister Han was the first to speak. They're not negotiating, they're dictating terms. It's worse than that, Dr. Park added, studying her readings. The biosignatures suggest they've done this many times before. This entire process is routine for them. Song Nari activated her secure communication link to Admiral Lee Jinho's fleet. Admiral, this is Ambassador Song. The talks have concluded. Recommend immediate defensive preparations. We have 72 hours to decide between surrender and war. Understood, Ambassador. What are the terms? Complete submission or complete destruction. There is no middle ground. The communication channel fell silent as the implications sank in. Humanity had reached for the stars, hoping to find friends and allies among the cosmic community. Instead, they had discovered that the galaxy was already ruled by an empire that tolerated no independence. General Cho activated the emergency protocols that would alert every military commander on Earth and in the colonies. All units prepare for possible hostile action. Defensive positions only until further orders. Engineer Yoon Hyuk reported through the communication network that alien energy signatures were increasing around all major population centers. The Council was making it clear that Earth cities were hostages in this negotiation. As the human leadership filed out of the meeting room, Song Nari couldn't shake the feeling that they had just witnessed humanity's funeral. The aliens possessed overwhelming technological superiority, perfect intelligence about human capabilities, and thousands of years of experience in conquest disguised as integration. 72 hours to choose between slavery and extinction. The clock had started ticking, and Earth's fate hung in the B. Minister Han Yura stood before the emergency session of the United Earth Council, knowing that her next words would determine humanity's future. Representatives from every nation and colony sat in tense silence, waiting for Earth's official response to the alien ultimatum. The 72-hour deadline had expired 30 minutes ago. Admiral Lee Jinho monitored the session from his flagship positioned between Earth and the Moon. His fleet had grown to over 200 vessels as every available ship rushed to defend the home system. Captain Kim Do-yeon's fighter squadrons patrolled the outer perimeter, while Admiral Bae Soo-jin prepared the secret weapons platform hidden behind. Luna Dr. Lim Junho worked frantically in his laboratory, analyzing fragments of alien technology gathered from their landing site. His team had discovered something remarkable about Council equipment. Despite its advanced capabilities, every piece followed identical design patterns suggesting a standardized approach to warfare that might have weaknesses. Fellow representatives of humanity. Minister Han began her voice carrying across the council chamber and through every communication network on Earth. We have received an ultimatum from beings who call themselves the Galactic Council. They demand our complete surrender in exchange for what they call guided development. The chamber remained silent, but Han could see determination growing in the faces around her. Humanity had not survived ice ages, wars and plagues by surrendering to superior forces. The Council offers us a choice between slavery disguised as protection and extinction disguised as resistance. But they have made a fundamental error in their calculations. They assume we will choose survival over freedom. They assume we will accept chains in exchange for safety. On his ship, Admiral Lee received confirmation that all defensive systems were online. Engineer Yoon Hyuk had worked miracles installing experimental weapons on every available platform. The technology was untested, but it represented humanity's only hope against Council superiority. Colonel Park Seon-ho led his Special Forces teams into position around Earth's major cities. If the aliens attempted to land occupation troops human, soldiers would be waiting. They might not win, but they would make the cost of conquest as high as possible. The Council has studied us for years, but they have misunderstood what they observed. Han continued. They see our conflicts and call us aggressive. They see our independence and call us dangerous. They see our refusal to submit and call us primitive. But we know what they really fear. Intelligence Officer Choi Ji-won monitored alien communications from her station in the Seoul Command Center. The Council fleets were moving into attack positions above Earth cities. Whatever humanity decided, the aliens were ready to enforce their will through violence. Dr. Park Min-ji studied the psychological profiles she had developed of the Council representatives. Their behavior patterns suggested they had never encountered serious resistance before. Every species they had conquered had eventually submitted to superior force. They had no experience dealing with beings who chose death over slavery. They fear us because we represent something they destroyed in themselves long ago, Han declared. The courage to stand alone against impossible odds. The willingness to fight for principles instead of survival. The determination to remain free even when freedom costs everything. Captain Lee Hyun-woo's stealth cruiser detected movement in the alien fleet above Seoul. Energy signatures indicated they were preparing to demonstrate their power through targeted destruction. The psychological warfare was about to become physical. Warfare. Therefore, I speak for all humanity when I deliver Earth's response to the Galactic Council, Han announced, rising from her podium. We reject your authority. We reject your protection. We reject your guidance. Earth bows to no one. The words echoed through every communication system on the planet and beyond. Human colonies throughout local space received the message simultaneously. Proxima Station New Geneva and Kepler Colony began immediate defensive preparations, despite being surrounded by Council fleets. Prime Arbiter Kelthera's response came within minutes, broadcast directly into every human communication device. The species known as humans has chosen extinction over integration. Council fleets will now begin corrective measures to protect galactic stability. Admiral Lee gave the order that committed humanity to war against an galactic empire. All units, weapons free, defend Earth and her colonies, show them what human determination looks like. The first shots came from the Council fleet above Luna Base. Beams of coherent energy lanced down toward the human mining facility, intent on demonstrating alien power through the destruction of an isolated target. The aliens expected to see their weapons vaporize human structures without resistance. Instead, they watched in amazement as Admiral Bae Sujin's hidden defense platform emerged from behind the lunar surface. The Titan station had been under construction for 5 years, disguised as a research facility. Its experimental kinetic cannons fired solid projectiles at significant fractions of light speed. The alien shields that had seemed impenetrable flickered and failed under the unexpected assault. Kinetic energy transfer was apparently something Council technology handled poorly. 3 Council destroyers suffered critical damage before they could retreat to safer positions. Captain Kim Do-yeon, led his fighter squadrons against the alien fleet above Earth. His pilots used tactics developed through years of fighting pirates and raiders in deep space. Instead of engaging in formal combat formations, they attacked in random patterns that confused alien targeting systems. The Council had superior technology, but their weapons were designed to fight opponents who followed predictable military doctrines. Human fighters that dove through civilian traffic patterns used asteroid fields as cover and attacked from impossible angles, created targeting solutions that alien computers couldn't process fast enough. Dr. Lim's analysis proved correct about Council equipment standardization. When engineer Yoon Hyok's quantum disruption missiles hit their first target, the effect cascaded through nearby alien vessels. Their interconnected systems became a vulnerability when human weapons found the right frequency to exploit. "Sir, we're seeing something incredible," reported Admiral Lee's tactical officer. "Their entire fleet uses the same shield harmonics. If we can destabilize one ship, the effect spreads to others in the same formation." The Battle of Luna lasted 18 hours and ended with the Council fleet retreating to reorganize. Humanity had lost 6 ships and over 300 fighters, but they had proven that alien technology was not invincible. More importantly, they had broadcast the entire engagement to every corner of human space. Colonel Park's ground forces engaged Council landing parties in Berlin, Moscow, and Tokyo. The alien soldiers were better equipped, but they had never fought opponents who used urban environments as weapons. Human defenders turned every building into a fortress and every street into a killing field. Intelligence Officer Choi detected emergency communications between Council fleets. The alien commanders were requesting reinforcements and expressing concern about human capabilities. For the first time in millennia, the Council faced an enemy that fought back effectively. "This is Captain Lee reporting from the Kepler system," came the transmission from humanity's most distant colony. "Council fleet attempted to blockade our system. We've destroyed 4 of their vessels using improvised asteroid cannon platforms. The aliens are retreating, but they'll be back with larger forces." Similar reports arrived from every human outpost. Earth's children were proving as stubborn and resourceful as their parent world. The galaxy's newest spacefaring species was refusing to accept the fate that had befallen 47 others before them. Dr. Park analyzed captured Council communications and made a disturbing discovery. "Minister, the aliens are requesting permission to use what they call final solution protocols. I think they're considering complete extermination rather than integration." Minister Han authorized the transmission that would change the war's nature. "All human forces, this is Earth Command. Intelligence indicates the Council intends total extermination of our species. We are now fighting for survival itself. All previous restrictions on weapons and tactics are lifted." The message carried additional meaning that every human commander understood. Earth was authorizing the use of experimental weapons, mass destruction devices, and psychological warfare tactics previously considered too dangerous or immoral for conventional conflict. Admiral Kang Seo-hyun received authorization to begin Operation Starbreak. Her deep space fleet would begin attacking Council supply lines and communications networks. If the aliens wanted a war of extermination, humanity would give them one that reached every corner of their empire. Engineer Han Min-seok activated the hyperspace research project that had been classified beyond top secret. If human scientists could understand Council faster than light technology, they might be able to disrupt it on a massive scale. The war that began with alien ultimatum and human defiance was spreading beyond Earth's solar system. Council fleets found themselves fighting desperate humans who had nothing left to lose and everything worth defending. As reports of victories and defeats flowed into Earth, Command Minister Han realized that humanity had crossed a line from which there was no alliance. Captain Lee Hyun-woo's stealth cruiser drifted silently through the asteroid field surrounding the Council supply depot at Rigel Station. 6 months had passed since humanity's declaration of independence, and the war had spread across dozens of star systems. What had begun as Earth's desperate defiance had become a galaxy-wide rebellion. The Council's attempt to make an example of humanity had backfired spectacularly. Their failure to quickly subdue Earth's primitive military had encouraged other species to question Council authority. Intelligence Officer Choi Ji-won's reports indicated that 3 former Council client races had begun secret resistance movements. Lee Hyun-woo studied the alien facility through his ship's passive sensors. The depot contained enough supplies to support a council fleet for months, but it was defended by only 2 patrol vessels. The aliens had grown overconfident during millennia of unchallenged rule. "Captain, we're detecting unusual energy signatures from the depot's central structure," reported his tactical officer. "It looks like they're storing more than just supplies." The stealth systems that made Lee Hyun-woo's mission possible were based on captured council technology reverse-engineered by Dr. Lim Jun-ho's research teams. Humanity's greatest advantage in this war was their ability to adapt and improve alien equipment faster than the council could develop countermeasures. Admiral Kang Seo-hyun's voice crackled through the secure communication channel from her flagship, 3 systems away. "Ghost Leader, this is Liberation Command. What's your status on the Rigel operation?" "Standing by for final approach, Admiral," Lee Hyun-woo replied. "Target appears to be lightly defended, but we're seeing some unexpected readings." The Liberation Fleet had become humanity's primary offensive, force-striking council installations throughout local space. Admiral Kang commanded over 400 vessels, including captured alien ships crewed by human volunteers and allied species rebels. Engineer Yoon Hyok had spent months modifying captured council vessels to work with human technology. The hybrid ships combined alien durability with human innovation, creating weapons platforms unlike anything the galaxy had seen before. "Ghost Leader, be advised we've received intelligence that the Rigel depot may contain more than supplies," Admiral Kang warned. "Rebel sources suggest the Council is storing something called cascade resonance amplifiers." Dr. Park Minji's research into Council technology had revealed the existence of weapons capable of destroying entire star systems. The cascade amplifiers could destabilize stellar fusion, causing stars to collapse into black holes. Such weapons violated every galactic warfare convention, but the Council seemed prepared to use them. Lee Hyun-woo's ship approached the depot using an approach vector that kept them hidden behind the largest asteroid. His crew had performed similar raids against Council positions throughout the sector, but this mission felt different. The energy readings suggested they were dealing with something far more dangerous than conventional military supplies. Colonel Park Seon-ho's special operations teams had infiltrated Council installations on 6 different worlds, gathering intelligence about alien military capabilities and political weaknesses. His reports painted a picture of an empire beginning to crack under the pressure of prolonged conflict. "Captain, I'm detecting movement in the depot," announced the sensor operator. "Looks like they're preparing to transfer the amplifiers to an outbound transport." The timing could not have been coincidental. Council intelligence had likely detected human interest in the facility and ordered immediate relocation of sensitive materials. Lee Hyun-woo had to act quickly before the weapons disappeared into the alien logistics network. "All hands prepare for a combat approach," he ordered. "We're going in fast and hard before they can escape with those amplifiers." The stealth cruiser emerged from the asteroid field at maximum acceleration, launching a spread of quantum disruption missiles at the Council patrol vessels. The alien ships detected the human attack, but their response was hampered by outdated tactical programming that couldn't adapt to human innovation. Admiral Bae Sujin's defense platforms around Earth had proven that kinetic weapons could penetrate Council shields. Human engineers had developed increasingly sophisticated projectile systems that bypassed alien energy defenses entirely. Intelligence reports from Nix-High rebels confirmed that several Council member species were questioning the resource expenditure required to suppress human resistance. The war was costing more than the Council had spent on military operations in the previous century. "Sir, the transport is launching," reported Lee Hyun-woo's tactical officer. "It's carrying 6 cascade amplifiers according to our sensors." The Council transport was heavily shielded and carried enough firepower to destroy Lee Hyun-woo's cruiser in direct combat. But human tactics had evolved beyond direct engagement. Captain Kim Do-hyun's fighter doctrine emphasized mobility and unpredictability over raw firepower. Lee Hyun-woo ordered his helmsman to match the transport's trajectory while staying in its sensor shadow. The alien vessel was designed to fight opponents who announced their presence and engaged in formal combat. It had no defense against an enemy that preferred stealth and precision strikes. "Captain, we're receiving a transmission from the transport," reported the communications officer. "They're demanding our identification and surrender." The Council still expected other species to submit to their authority, even in the middle of active combat operations. Centuries of unopposed rule had made them unable to comprehend genuine resistance from supposedly inferior beings. "Tell them, we're here to collect overdue library books," Li Haiyanwu replied. "Then hit them with everything we have." The human attack focused on the transport's engine systems, rather than its weapons or shields. Disabling the vessel's ability to escape was more important than destroying it outright. The Cascade amplifiers were too valuable as intelligence assets and too dangerous to allow into Council hands. Dr. Lim Junho's analysis of Council psychology had revealed that alien commanders followed rigid tactical protocols that made them predictable in crisis situations. When faced with unexpected situations, they defaulted to procedures that had worked for millennia, but were ineffective against human innovation. "Transport is dead in space, sir," reported the tactical officer. "Their engines are offline and they're venting atmosphere from multiple hull breaches." Engineer Han Min-seok's research into hyperspace technology had revealed that the Cascade amplifiers required specific storage conditions to remain stable. If the Council transport lost environmental control, the weapons would become increasingly unstable. "Launch boarding parties," Li Haiyanwu ordered. "We need those amplifiers secured before they destabilize." Colonel Park's training programs had prepared human soldiers for combat aboard alien vessels. The Council's ship designs reflected their standardized approach to technology, making it easier for humans to navigate and control captured systems. The boarding action lasted 20 minutes and ended with complete human victory. The Council crew surrendered when they realized their tactical manuals contained no procedures for dealing with opponents who ignored conventional military protocols. "Admiral, this is Ghost Leader," Li Haiyanwu reported to Admiral Kang. "Target secured. We have 6 Cascade amplifiers in custody along with technical documentation and 37 Council prisoners." The intelligence value of the captured materials was enormous. Dr. Park's xenopsychology teams would interrogate the prisoners, while Engineer Yoon's technical staff analyzed the amplifier systems. Every piece of Council technology humanity captured brought them closer to understanding their enemy's capabilities. Intelligence Officer Choi's network of rebel contacts had grown to include operatives from 12 different species. The Council's empire was beginning to fragment as client races realized that successful resistance was possible. "Ghost Leader, you've just handed us the keys to the Council's most dangerous weapons," Admiral Kang replied. "Return to base immediately for debriefing and analysis." The war was entering a new phase as humanity transitioned from desperate defense to organized offense. Earth's colonies had become fortified bastions that Council fleets could no longer attack with impunity. Human raiding forces struck Council installations throughout the sector, while rebel movements spread the message of resistance. But the Council was adapting too. Prime Arbiter Kelthara had authorized increasingly desperate measures to end the human threat. Intercepted communications indicated that the aliens were preparing something called the Final Cleansing Protocol. Dr. Park's analysis of Council behavior patterns suggested they were approaching a decision point. Either they would find a way to destroy humanity completely, or they would be forced to accept human independence as a permanent reality. Li Haiyanwu's successful raid at Rigel Station had proven that human forces could strike Council assets anywhere in local space. The stealth technology reverse-engineered from alien systems allowed human ships to appear and disappear like ghosts in the galactic night. As his cruiser jumped to hyperspace carrying its precious cargo of captured weapons and intelligence, Li Haiyanwu wondered how long the war could continue. Humanity was winning individual battles, but the Council controlled thousands of star systems and commanded fleets that numbered in the millions. The real question was not whether humans could continue fighting, but whether they could convince enough. Odd Admiral Jiang Wusung stood on the bridge of the Liberation Fleet flagship, watching the final approach to the galactic core. 2 years of brutal warfare had led to this moment when humanity and its rebel allies would strike at the heart of Council power. The combined fleet stretched across space like a constellation of defiance. The Nix High Resistance leader Valandra commanded the left wing of the assault force from her captured Council dreadnought. Her people had been enslaved for 3 centuries, but the human example had rekindled their desire for freedom. Now HFY warriors fought alongside human marines in the greatest military operation in galactic history. Dr. Park Minji monitored the final intelligence briefings from her command post aboard the research vessel Discovery. Her psychological analysis of Council leadership had identified critical weaknesses in their command structure. The aliens had never planned for simultaneous rebellion across multiple sectors. Engineer Han Min-seok's hyperspace disruptor weapon represented humanity's greatest technological achievement. Instead of destroying the Council's beacon network, the device would redistribute control to individual species, making galactic-scale tyranny impossible. Every race would control their own, faster-than-light travel. Admiral, we're detecting massive Council fleet movements around the core systems, reported the sensor operator. It looks like they've recalled every available ship to defend their central command. Prime Arbiter Kelthera had committed everything to this final battle. The Council's empire was crumbling as rebel movements spread from sector to sector. If they lost control of the hyperspace network, their remaining authority would collapse within months. Captain Kim Do-hyun's fighter squadrons formed the advance guard of the Liberation Fleet. His pilots had become legends throughout human space after 2 years of impossible victories against superior forces. They flew ships that combined human innovation with technology, captured from a dozen different species. The galactic core pulsed with artificial energy as massive Council installations drew power from the central black hole. The hyperspace beacon network required enormous amounts of energy to maintain faster-than-light communication across the galaxy. Destroying it would cripple Council coordination, but rebuilding would take decades. All vessels. This is Admiral Jung, the fleet commander, announced. Today we fight not just for human freedom, but for the liberation of every enslaved species in the galaxy. The Council has ruled through fear for 4,000 years. Today that rule ends. Intelligence Officer Choi Ji-won had coordinated with rebel cells throughout Council space to launch simultaneous uprisings during the assault on the core. 17 different species would declare independence, while the Council fleet was engaged in the decisive battle. Colonel Park Se-onho's assault. Teams prepared for the most dangerous mission in human military history. They would board the Council command nexus and manually activate Engineer Han's disruptor device. The mission required them to penetrate the most heavily defended installation in known space. Sir, the Council fleet is moving to intercept, reported the tactical officer. We're looking at over 2,000 vessels, including their entire ceremonial guard. The Council's ceremonial guard consisted of ships that had never seen actual combat during their 4 millennia of service. They existed primarily to intimidate lesser species during diplomatic encounters. Admiral Jong wondered how they would perform against opponents who shot back. Dr. Lim Junho's technical teams had analyzed every piece of Council technology captured during 2 years of warfare. Their research revealed that alien engineering philosophy emphasized redundancy and reliability over innovation and adaptation. It made their systems durable but predictable. Launch all fighters, Admiral Jong ordered. Begin the liberation of the galaxy. The battle began with Captain Kim's pilots diving into the Council formation like hawks attacking a flock of eagles. Human fighters used tactics that violated every principle of civilized warfare according to Council military doctrine. They attacked supply ships, ignored challenges to single combat, and focused on disrupting enemy coordination. Valandra's rebel fleet engaged the Council's right flank with weapons that combined HFY energy manipulation technology with human targeting systems. The hybrid armaments proved devastatingly effective against shields designed to deflect conventional energy beams. Admiral, we're receiving distress calls from Council installations throughout the galaxy, reported the communications officer. Rebel uprisings are beginning on schedule across all sectors. The coordinated rebellion was succeeding beyond humanity's most optimistic projections. Species that had submitted to Council authority for centuries were discovering that their oppressors could be defeated by determined resistance and superior tactics. Engineer Yoon Hyok's modified weapon systems began targeting the Council's command ships. His gravitational disruptor cannons created localized space-time distortions that bypassed traditional defensive systems. The aliens had no experience dealing with weapons that attacked the fabric of reality itself. "Sir, the Council flagship is requesting communication," announced the sensor operator. "Prime Arbiter Kelthara wants to discuss terms." Admiral Jong smiled grimly. "Tell the Prime Arbiter that humanity doesn't negotiate with slavers. He can surrender unconditionally or he can burn with his empire." The response reflected humanity's transformation during 2 years of total war. Earth's children had learned that compromise with tyrants only delayed the inevitable confrontation. True freedom required the complete destruction of the system that denied it. Colonel Park's assault shuttles penetrated the Council command nexus using stealth technology reverse-engineered from captured alien vessels. The installation's defenses were designed to repel massive fleets, not small teams of infiltrators using the facility's own technology against it. "Assault teams have reached the Hyperspace Control Center," Park reported. "Beginning installation of the disruptor device." Engineer Han's weapon required precise placement at the network's central node to achieve maximum effect. The device would need 12 minutes to fully activate, during which time the assault teams would face the entire Council security force. The battle around the Galactic core intensified as Council reinforcements arrived from distant sectors. Admiral Jong's fleet was outnumbered 4-1, but human commanders had learned to use enemy numbers against them. Large formations were vulnerable to weapons that created cascading failures. "Sir, the disruptor device is online," Colonel Park announced. "All rebel fleets should prepare for hyperspace disruption in 10 minutes. Dr. Park monitored Council communications as the alien command structure began to collapse. Prime Arbiter Kelthara was receiving reports of rebellion from every corner of the Empire. The psychological impact of simultaneous uprisings was destroying Council morale faster than human weapons destroyed their ships. "Admiral, this is Captain Lee reporting from the Proxima sector," came the transmission from humanity's former colonies. "Council garrison forces are surrendering without fight. The aliens seem to have lost the will to resist." Similar reports arrived from throughout human space as Council occupation forces abandoned their posts. The empire that had ruled the galaxy for millennia was dissolving as its member species realized they outnumbered their oppressors by millions to one. Engineer Han's disruptor device reached full activation, sending quantum pulses throughout the hyperspace network. Instead of destroying the system, the weapon redistributed control nodes to individual species. Every race that had been enslaved by the Council suddenly gained the ability to control their own space travel. "Sir, the Council flagship is breaking apart," reported the tactical officer. "It looks like they're abandoning ship." Prime Arbiter Kelthara's final transmission reached Admiral Jong as the alien command structure collapsed. "Admiral Jong, you have doomed the galaxy to chaos and war. The Council maintained peace for 4,000 years. Without our guidance, the species will destroy each other." "Peace built on slavery isn't peace," Jong replied. "It's just well-organized oppression. The galaxy will be better off chaotic and free than orderly and enslaved." The Battle of the Galactic Core ended 12 hours after it began with complete victory for the Liberation Fleet. Council forces throughout the galaxy received simultaneous orders to cease military operations and return to their home systems. The Empire was officially dissolved. Colonel Park's assault teams completed their mission and returned to the fleet carrying data cores containing 4,000 years of Council records. The information would help newly liberated species understand their own histories and plan their independent futures. 5 years later, Dr. Park established the Galactic Independence Institute on the former Council homeworld. The facility would monitor interspecies relations and intervene diplomatically to prevent any single race from dominating others. The galaxy would remain free through vigilance, not conquest. Minister Han Yura addressed the first meeting of the new Galactic Assembly as Earth's representative to 43 independent species. Her closing words summarized humanity's greatest achievement in their brief but extraordinary journey to the stars. "In a galaxy of subjects, we chose to be citizens. In a cosmos of slaves, we chose to